What happens when one of America's most trusted TV personalities is forced to face a heartbreak she cannot fix? What happens when faith, grief, and uncertainty collide in the most painful way possible? That is exactly the emotional place Savannah Guthrie is standing in right now, and her Easter message has left millions of people stunned. Because this was not just a holiday reflection, this was a raw confession. A daughter speaking from a place of pain, a woman wrestling with unanswered prayers, and a public figure reminding the world that even the strongest faith can be tested by the deepest sorrow. Today, we are breaking down Savannah Guthrie's emotional Easter message, the heartbreaking context behind it, and the ongoing disappearance of her mother, Nancy Guthrie. Savannah Guthrie's Easter reflection was not polished, not scripted to perfection, and not the kind of statement people usually expect from a major television figure. It was personal. It was vulnerable, and it was painfully honest. According to the reports, Savannah admitted that there have been moments when she has felt deep disappointment with God while going through this season of grief and uncertainty. That is a powerful statement by itself, but what made it even more emotional was the way she connected that feeling to the suffering she is living through right now. She spoke about the reality that faith is not always clean, easy, or comforting. Sometimes faith is messy, sometimes faith is wrestled with, and sometimes faith is the only thing a person has left when every other answer disappears. That is why her message hit so hard, because she did not speak like someone standing above pain, she spoke like someone inside it. To understand the emotional weight of Savannah's words, you have to understand what her family has been going through. Her mother, Nancy Guthrie, disappeared in Arizona, and the case has remained deeply troubling and unresolved. This is not a distant headline for Savannah. This is her mother, her family, her reality. Reports say the search for Nancy began after she vanished from the Catalina foothills area near Tucson, and authorities have continued working the case ever since. For the family, that means living in a painful state of uncertainty where every day brings the same unanswered question: what happened? That kind of waiting is its own form of suffering, because when a loved one disappears, grief does not arrive all at once. It lingers, it stretches, it haunts. And for Savannah, Easter became the moment where that pain spilled into the public eye. There's a reason this story is resonating far beyond entertainment news. Savannah Guthrie is not just a celebrity sharing a polished emotional post. She is someone millions of people know from their morning routines, from major interviews, from the steady face of American television. So when she opens up about disappointment, faith, and suffering, people listen, and they feel it. Because her message taps into something universal, the moment in life when hope feels fragile, when prayer feels unanswered, and when the future feels painfully unclear. She also made it clear that Easter is not only about joy, but about going through pain before reaching redemption. That is what gives her reflections such emotional power. It doesn't ignore the darkness, it walks through it. That is what makes the message unforgettable. It is not a performance, it's a wound speaking out loud. While Savannah's Easter message drew attention for its emotional honesty, the bigger story remains the search for Nancy Guthrie. The family has publicly asked for help, and investigators have continued to pursue leads as the case develops. But as of the latest reports, the disappearance remains unresolved. That uncertainty is what makes this case so heartbreaking. There is no closure yet, no simple answer, no relief, just waiting, just hoping, just searching. And that is why Savannah's Easter reflection feels especially heavy. She is not speaking in the abstract, she is living the reality behind the headlines. One of the most powerful parts of Savannah's message is that she doesn't pretend to have everything figured out. That's rare, especially in public life. People often expect celebrities and public figures to offer clean, inspirational sound bites, but Savannah offered something far more human, the truth that faith can coexist with anger, sadness, and confusion. She spoke about feeling abandoned, about struggling with the pain of unanswered questions, and about the emotional impact of a season that has shaken her deeply. And yet, even in that place, she still pointed toward belief, still pointed toward hope, still held on to the idea that light can follow darkness. That is what gives this story its emotional arc. Not victory, not a neat ending, but endurance. This Easter message will likely be remembered not because it was flashy, but because it was real. It captured a very human truth that some of life's hardest seasons don't come with explanations. Some prayers don't get answered quickly. Some pain doesn't resolve on schedule. And when someone like Savannah Guthrie says that out loud, it gives others permission to admit their own pain too. That's the power of this moment. Not celebrity, not headlines, but honesty. As the search for Nancy Guthrie continues, Savannah's Easter message stands as a raw reminder that grief can shake even the strongest hearts. But it also reminds us that people keep going, people keep hoping, people keep believing, even when belief is difficult. And that is what made this message so powerful. Not that it was perfect, but that it was painfully, beautifully true.